Damn, son. That looked a bit better. I have no idea why that didn't tickle properly. But yeah, these are some Zombicide miniatures. There's some of the Spec Ops team. Got them from Chillcon last year, cheap, and bring them by. Plan on using them for proxies for Special Ops in Spectre miniatures. So I bought that. I got the rulebook for Christmas, so pretty much running through some of these. I'm just getting them painted up and ready to go for when we're eventually allowed out of this lockdown and allowed to do everything. So I thought Sunday afternoon, why not do a bit of painting? Yeah, not strictly Warhammer, mainly because the only Warhammer I've really got to paint are my Tau. Yeah, this is one of those things of I've been playing too much Modern Warfare, too much GT Online, stuff like that, and then the last couple of days I've been sat here. It's like last weekend, I could have done so much, but I literally just sat there, and this isolation has really got me sort of will to do stuff right now. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to actually paint something, and while I'm doing it, I may as well stream it, and at least then it might inspire some other people, and it might well just get other people painting, or at least give them something to watch while they're eating the Sunday dinner or whatever they're doing. And yet, I've still not broken the V plates on Warzone yet. So I've seen you've been playing it with Grant and the guys. One thing I might do later is have a go at someone was saying earlier that Plunder was really good on duos, even if you do it as a solo for leveling guns, because obviously you just keep on coming back and coming back. I do need to level up my sniper rifles a little bit more to get some of the better thermal scopes. Minute, the only one I've got that's any good is my HDR, which I don't even think I've got pro barrel yet. I'm really low level on sniper rifles, so keep on using marksman ones in normal multiplayer. have noticed on this one that I'll leave my glue for is they haven't glued the foregrip on properly. Don't know if you can see it on there. There's like a gap, sort of a mil gap between the foregrip and the actual M4, for want of a better term. Come on, work your way down the bottom. What you'll see, guys, now you can actually hear me. A bit embarrassing, but one of the things, because I haven't streamed for a while, so I assumed everything would be working. We have these to all go through. And get a flesh tone on too. Today, hopefully, we're going to get a flesh tone on all of these, get that part done, and then I can start moving on to what I want to do with rigs and weapons, etc. etc. On there, let's shut the glue out of the way, so I don't end up gluing anything. So yeah, because Streamlabs decided my mic's on mute, I will run through again with the wet palette in just a minute after I've done this guy. Because there is no need to go and spend loads of money on one from GW, or even buy the Army Painter sheets when you can make one yourself for about £2, if that. And this thing has been a lifesaver when you're sort of not really into painting and you're only doing it at the weekends or a few days apart. The best thing it was for was when I was doing my last D&D mini, and there was a load of stuff that did need touching up on it. It was brilliant the fact I could just go back to a wet palette, grab exactly the same colour, especially when you've mixed some together to try and make a colour up. They are absolute lifesavers. But yeah, unfortunately guys, while we're in the lockdown, I'll only sort of be doing streams like this every so often. But also, fortunately, I'll only be able to do stuff like painting and things like that on stream purely because of the fact of, although I do have a dock set up for my laptop on my desk, it's also the same dock I have to use for my work laptop. And seeing as I'm using that 5 days a week, 9 hours a day, I'm not unlocking it for games at the weekend at the minute. I mean, that may all change again when we get further and further into this lockdown, because I will slowly get bored in the evenings after work. And as the new spring and summertime gets here, well, we are in spring, but as the days get longer, I'm not one of these people that likes to, although I do enjoy going out in the garden and playing with the dog and what have you, I don't sit out there for hours on end. I don't go out to pubs at all. right, guys, I just noticed I've got a splinter in the thing, which will annoy the hell out of me later. The key to painting these sort of things, guys, is you can see on there my brush is misstroked a bit and caught some of the flesh on the helmet. Doesn't matter. You do the tiny bits like the skin first, because later on when I'm painting I can go over that with black, whatever I'm doing. So I've not decided on camo and things like that as yet for these guys. Or what colour BDUs they are going to wear. I think they'll probably end up in some form of green when I can find a suitable dark green. I think I've only got lightish ones from my orc painting days in my box. I'll have to have a look. Really awkward position in front of the shotgun, which is causing an absolute nightmare with that front hammer. Which unfortunately does happen.
The city, it runs cold today. Sunshine, it is shining.
Sometimes these kinds of models can be a right royal pain.
Black it all away. But in the dark, there's still a sound, and nothing changed. Don't know if I have ever heard you sing, but I hear it. Don't know if I
Hello Hextrad, thank you for the follow. Welcome. I'm hoping to be doing a bit more streaming more often now, especially with this being in lockdown. Of course, at the weekends I literally have 3 or 4 things that I can actually do. Nightbot, what are you doing? Nightbot is being an absolute pain. These are some of the special ops guys from Zombicide. So the idea behind these is I got the Spectre rules at Christmas off a friend, So it bought me the core rulebook, and this was literally a week or 2 weeks before they announced they were doing a starter kit. And it's one of these ones of, it was brilliant until it decided that they were pretty much doing that. So we, luckily, beforehand, I'd sort of expressed an interest in it anyway, and went to went to ChillCon in September or October at Derby. Went to that, and these were on someone's second-hand table, and I got all, what is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of them for about £4. Something stupidly cheap like that. So I was like, you know what, they'll do for proxies for that until I can be bothered to buy the proper Spectre stuff, because if you haven't seen any of this stuff, it's brilliant. Especially when you start to get some of the bits and bobs from like the Humvees and things like that that we do. Right, let's have a look at Nightbot. Why are you being a pain? Let's do that. There you go. Should be able to actually post caps now. It's wants to be a real pain in the backside. It's alright, Nightbots hate everybody. Trust me. I've had loads of timeouts with Nightbot. It's a brilliant thing for you if you're sort of a lone streamer and not got a mod squad or anything, but yeah, that can be a pain. Forge World wise, depends what army you're after. In all honesty, it does really depend what army you want, or what army you want to paint. Now, one thing I was just going to go through was my wet palette actually. Let's brush up a bit more. So one thing you want to do for a start, if you've not got a wet palette, is make one. These are so easy to make. You literally get a plastic takeaway container, just a shallow one. In the bottom of there is 3 pieces of kitchen towel that have been folded up, trimmed to size. Get a bit of greaseproof paper, parchment paper, anything like that. Trim that down to size, put it on top. Flood the container, so you pretty much just fill that with water, drain out the excess water, and then you've got one wet palette. And then all you do is, when you come along 2-3 days later, you drop the water on paper towel underneath, and it just keeps your paint wet. I mean, I put that paint in when I started the stream, or before I started the stream actually, and it's been going nearly an hour, and you can see in there it is still nice and moist. And one of the things that you can do is literally that'll save your paint for a few weeks. Hey, a Tomby coming in with a hot rate of 6, which my alert hasn't kicked in yet. Don't know why. But hello, welcome people, welcome. We are just painting some of these guys that are Spec Ops guys from Zombicide that we're painting up for using the Spectre miniatures, which is a brilliant one. Now, Hex, you asked about Forge World. What armies are you after, or what armies do you use? Because that's the main thing. It all depends what armies you want. I mean, if anyone's willing to sort of drop £1,000 or whatever and buy me a Manta for my Tau army, well, we can always hope. But it always depends what armies you want in there, and also read up on what the rules are. I mean, there's loads of brilliant minis from there. I mean, some of the Primarchs, things like that, you can't go wrong. I mean, if you're looking for sort of 30k stuff, things like that, Emperor's Children, that sort of thing, I mean, let's have a look. If I get on Forge World. Let me a minute because I've got to swap the screens. Here, so if I go to the scene for a sec. No, that's brilliant, Tommy. Thanks for the raid, mate. That is absolutely awesome. I mean, you know as well as I do. I'm only just starting up and redoing everything, so it's one of these ones. Any little will help at all on there. I mean, one of the ones vehicles-wise that I actually have, which I don't have with me because my friend's got the tower on, is I do have the GW Stomper. But I do have one of these, it's really nice, the Orc Big Track. And the one thing I love to do with that is, which is not showing me on this page, I also have this Orc Warbottom bike that's absolutely, I mean, that is probably that long, something like that, good sort of 4 or 5 inches long on there, which is brilliant. But the best thing, if you ever get into Orcs, get one of these bad boys, Orc Super Cannon. They are massive, they stick on the back of either a truck or anything like that. So let's go to Heresy. Your Heresy. Vehicles. Oh, you mean pick everything one at a time, aren't you? One of these days, GW will sort their act out with the website. See, I'm always going to go to the UK site because I'm in the UK. I mean, luckily for me, Forge World GW headquarters is literally half an hour down the road. Somewhere like that, because I'm literally on the border of Nottinghamshire, and with GW headquarters being in Nottingham, the one cool thing is you can go there, have a pint and some food in Bugman's, go around the displays and everything, and Forge World, you can literally order it if they've not got it in the store, in the actual Forge World part of the store that they have in Warhammer World. So you literally, as you walk in, you have a mini GW store there that's massive, got Black Library bit, things like that. If you go round, as you come through to the right into the gaming hall, they have an actual section for Forge World, and they literally have everything that they make in that store, and you can pick it up there and then. If it's not there or it's out of stock, as long as you order it, I think it's before 12 o'clock, you can pick it up at 3 o'clock. They pretty much run it across the road from the factory. See, now something like that always appeals to me, even though I'm a full-on Xeno player in 40k, and that's about it. GW stuff like the Daemon Predator or the Mastodon Heavy Assault. I always love these sort of big chunky tanks and what have you. I've always loved the flyers and what have you. So Dreadnoughts are always nice, but they just cost a fortune. So the other thing is, I have one of my friends used to get bootcasts every so often because he did 40k Chaos, and one of the things that he used to do was get stuff like I'm just going to pause the music a minute. He would get stuff like he'd go out I think he got a Great Unclean one that was a second recast and things like that he got that were absolutely brilliant. See, I like that Orion dropship purely because it looks a little bit Tau. And things like that. So yeah, grav tanks always a winner. But yeah, it purely depends with that sort of thing, Hex, what you want, sort of how far you want to go into it. There are lots and lots and lots of things that you can buy off there. Right, let's go back to that scene so you guys can see me painting it a little bit more. But yeah, it with sort of Forge World 30k, things like that, it is full on sort of what you fancy on there, what you sort of think you can get. See, the one thing I am thinking of getting into is 40k and things like that. I am going to be looking at potentially going into something like airbrushing as well. Because one of the things is, one of the guys at work actually pointed out a really cool website I'll have to find the link for out of our Facebook group chat. But he was, because I keep on looking for my Tau for my hammerheads, things like that. And one of the things I want to do is do camo patterns. Now I'm shite at freehand, and if there's templates out there that can speed it up for me, brilliant. And the one thing I was thinking was getting the airbrush, getting some of these templates and doing the templates on the hammerhead tanks. See, I've heard varying things with airbrushes. I think it all depends on what you pick up from where. Of course, one of my friends kept on saying, if you just want an introduction one, you want to do a few bits and have a play, you can pick up really cheap Chinese ones off eBay and get like a full kit for less than 100 quid with compressor and everything, and then all you got to do is worry about getting your paint and your thinners and that sort of thing. Yeah, see, the one site that we were looking at was they're almost like a polymer plastic, sort of plastic card template, so it's full on rather than just sticking bits in with paper or whatever. They are full plastic templates. Hi Chaos Wolf, hello. Hopefully everybody's all good on this good old Isolation Sunday. I'm literally doing this while my other half is at work at Tesco, so big up to her for being one of our key workers. Although I am a key worker myself, I get to work from home. Yeah, what you probably need at Tombo is to go out to some of these shows that are around about. So it's like when we went to ChillCon, there was a full stand there and he'd literally got all the airbrushes that he did. He was offering to do sort of a quick demo / teaching course, things like that. But he also sort of went through and did a lot of stuff with people. These are Zombicide Spec Ops guys that are going to proxy in for people in Spectre. Yeah, see, cardboard paper, things like that, that's brilliant. It's more, I just want one, because I'm going to... Basically, there's a towel design in the actual GW books and everything like that our Lord and Saviour Duncan did before he went off on his own. And it's one of these ones of, because they've used an airbrush, I can actually use the same sort of camo pattern and uniform it. But it's also, if I do go down the lines of getting some of the Spectre stuff, then I can just pick up a couple of bits and do it from there. Yeah, like I say, Tom, wet pallets are brilliant. This one literally costs pence. It's one of these ones, people, when I first started looking at them, I was like, okay, people are going on about wet pallets, and they're going on about this, that and the other. I'm like, what can I do, what can I do? And I was looking, and it's one of these ones of, people of, like, Army Painter, things like that, actually do one where it is practically a flip book of the paper that you can pull out. So I went to our local JTF and got a massive, I think it was 3-metre roll of parchment paper. It cost me like £2 or £3. Kitchen roll we've always got in stock anyway, because everybody uses kitchen roll in the kitchen. And the pots, always handy because they just come from takeaway, so seems like the curry we used last night. Sorry, the curry we had last night. I've got 2 pots out of that the curry came in. And I've also got 3 or 4 little round ones that I'm going to use for putting Dettol or whatever in for stripping minis, because they're just the right depth and what have you, and that's what all the pickles came in from the free poppadoms we got with it. So it's all about reusing stuff. I never like to go out and buy something just because it has a brand name on it. The only thing I have ever bought for a brand name, or I say bought for a brand name, for doing with Warhammer, is I did get one of these, or I can't remember if I actually bought it or from one of my friends gave it me. I think I gave them a tenner for it at the time. And it's brilliant because of what you can do with it on there. But yeah, paper palette, same sort of thing. Biggest problem I have is up until I sort of moved out my folks a couple of years ago, I actually moved in with the other half, I'd not got a lot of space at home. And I've got one of the old GW paint stations, and I mean one of the old ones, we're talking sort of 2010, somewhere around there, where they got literally the plastic bits on the side and then had the 2 water bottle bits. And as nice as it is, it's literally sat on top of my shelf for 2 years because of the fact of it's brilliant for making models and having all your paints there, but you're still limited on the space. Whereas on here, this is an IKEA desk that the PC is sat on. I've got one of these clear mats that you can get for like £2 from IKEA. So you don't actually need a lot if you're painting little. And like I was saying earlier, I will get back to streaming games at some point. I've just got to get through lockdown first, because my biggest problem is my dock that I use for my laptop that I stream the games off when I do dual PC streaming, or I'm using PS4 or whatever, happens to be the same dock that my work PC sits on. And in all honesty, I cannot be bothered to undock my work laptop and have to mess around all the time while I'm working from home. because it works and it's happy. Although one of the things we were trying to set up with some of my colleagues at work that do excuse me, do play 40k or things like that, we were going to look at trying to use Tabletop Sim. The one cool thing that Wargames have actually done with this, or with these models, is they've made them all wear sunglasses. So me priming them black is brilliant because I literally have no need to do the good old hated enemy of all painters everywhere, which is eyes. And as I was saying earlier, it doesn't matter with the way I paint, if you do mistakes like that where your brush slips and you paint part of your model, because I'll be going over all of that anyway at some point. So that makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. So it is one of those things of if you do go over anything, don't worry. It is not the end of the world if you do go over anything and make a mess up. That is the reason I tend to do my finer details first. So sort of your face, your hands, things like that that aren't covered in anything. I'll tend to do my flesh tones first after the prime. Mainly because that's the bit that you've got the sort of most amount of detail in, and it's the smallest bit, and because of how small it is, short of you using one of these bad boys, which I can get the cover off. This is the Army Painter Insane detail. So I don't know if it'd be better on. I won't focus on there, but that is literally 4 or 5. That is only a few brush hairs on there. And that one is for literally if you are doing eyeballs or you have tiny bits that you are doing on there. So I'm going to have to take a drink again. I've just got... Typically when you start streaming while you're in lockdown isolation for coronavirus, you get a cough or a tickle. Which, if you're like me and get a constant tickle in your throat anyway, why have you gone out of focus? It's brilliant when you're trying to walk around shops or you're out on your daily walk. But yeah, when lockdown's over, I'm hoping I'll get a bit more chance to do some game streaming and get people involved and what have you. One thing we have been debating, there's some of us at our workplace that we're all in a D&D group together, and I keep on debating on asking permission to either stream the games, or if anyone has any objections to me actually recording them for YouTube and the likes. The guy that DMs for us is brilliant at doing all the voices, acting, things like that. He is a full-on in-depth DM. But we're also play testing part of a new campaign, so I had to check with him if we're allowed to actually record it and do everything. But at the minute we're sort of figuring out best way to do it while we're in quarantine, because we did a session, I'm trying to think, a couple of weeks ago we did a Sunday session where we did a pure sort of Skype thing, and it was alright, but obviously a lot of it you're having to use your imagination and try and think. And then we'd set up Roll20 and use that, but people were crashing out of it, so we're sort of set up now that we're using Roll20 and Skype over it. So it depends if I can find a way to actually get it to stream everything all on one screen for you and do it that way. Apologies for the music if it's not quite to taste. I don't always listen to this sort of thing, it's just because it's on no copyright, so it means my stream doesn't get muted. Another one done. So we're slowly churning through these guys. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Spectre Miniatures, it's pretty cool if you like your tabletop gaming. It's pretty much based around modern day. As in, you even get like SAS counter-terrorist teams on the minis. They do stuff like the Rangers, things like US Army Rangers, SEAL teams, FBI people, FSB, Spetsnaz. They also do special characters in it, so one they've just sort of done the rules for properly is they've done John Wick, but obviously called him Baba Yaga for the copyright reasons. And fairly sure they did Trump as well. off the top of my head. I'll have to have a look at that in a minute. But yeah, they also did like Donald Trump and stuff like that as leaders. To kind of in the game as high value targets, and there's like insurgents and everything like that. And they have some really cool rules that they use during some of the games as well. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of models that are ready to paint at the minute. Next thing after I've done these is to finish stripping and paint my long strike that I've decided, because I've basically got long strike years and years ago. I mean, we're talking when I first got into town, which is what, 3-4 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago, somewhere around there. And got long strike on a trip to Warhammer World, and foolishly decided, I know, I'll stick her on a base and just stand her to one side rather than actually set her up in a proper turret of a hammerhead like the model should be. So I decided the other day I'm going to start stripping that one down and do a put her in a proper turret, get that all glued in and done properly, and then just magnetise the turret for being able to fit in the actual hammerhead. Next to the railgun, because no one takes anything but a railgun with the hammerhead. Don't know why you would, considering the fact that it's like strength 10. As proved when I played against my mate just prior to lockdown, they absolutely melt orcs. As much as I love orcs, and they were my first army and I absolutely love them to bits, and they were actually my own orcs that is repainted. They are tower brilliant on gun lines. You literally, all I did was set up, didn't move at all through any of the turns whatsoever. I did not move. Set up a gun line with Cadre Fireblade on. And yeah, pretty much just rinse the infantry with that. And the few vehicles and tank busters and things like that that are a bit harder launched. Good old long strike and another hammerhead I got with railguns at it. A few mistakes around this one on the face. understand why Discord's alerting me to things in other people's Discords that I'm modding while I'm streaming on my phone. But such is the quirk of Discord. One thing I do need to get is some paint thinners at some point, so I can clean my brushes properly, and also to help me strip long striking it easier. Though one thing I read somewhere the other day that was pretty cool, watched on YouTube channel, sorry, that was pretty cool, was someone that said if you're stripping minis, use paint thinner. Or methylated spirits to us over here. And you use it on obviously plastic and metal models, don't use it on your resin because it'll probably react funny with resin. But use meths, and if you've got, or you can pick them up fairly cheap off of Amazon, get one of the ultrasonic jewellery cleaners, fill it up with meths, put your model in, and in about 5-10 minutes it's cleaned all the paint off. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I might try it, I might not, because although yes, I'm getting back into my miniatures and things like that, I more prefer, I mean, you won't believe how much motivation it's taken me to actually do these ones, purely because I prefer doing sort of D&D minis and things like that. I prefer that sort of thing. I prefer like a one-off mini that I can spend a couple of hours on doing all the detail and everything, rather than like painting a whole army. Hence the reason why with a lot of my 40k stuff, I bribed a friend into painting it for me. Which was more of a, he likes painting and I don't, and said, here, you can paint my models if you like, and then you don't have to buy any new kits. Spend money on models when you can paint mine. I think I also did him some favours as well at the time to pay him for it, but we're also those sort of friends where we'll get to something like Warhammer World and they'll go, I want that, but I ain't got money for it, and I'll just go, okay, I'll buy you. So these are actually going a lot quicker, a lot easier than I thought they would. Now, I know I'm only doing like the hands and face, but with everything, if I do enjoy it and it goes through, I could do it this little bit quicker doing it. I even start repainting some of my armours. This one, just to be a pain, decides he's going to wear a bandana. Don't think I can get that one to focus. You know what I might have to do for future streams is swap cameras. So have this one pointing at me, then use my 920, that's my 1081, pointing at the models, so I can get a little bit better focus on it. 2 left to go on the skin tone, which is good. So rocketing through these, I didn't think it'd be this quick to actually do them. I thought there'd be a lot more pain on these ones than there actually is, which is not a bad thing. Right, last one to go, guys. No, brilliant. Thanks for stopping by, Tommy. Thanks for the raid, mate. That is brilliant stuff. I'll catch you soon on your stream anyway, or mine, depending who gets to stream first. Probably yourself, seeing as you get to do it more days than I do. But I'll catch you later, mate. So I'll be ending soon in a few anyway, once I've sorted these out. Right, and on that note, guys, because we've finished painting all the skin on these, we will be wrapping up. So let's just go here. Forget that's on everything at the minute until I've turned it off. But no, brilliant. Thanks, guys. Like I say, thanks again, Tommy, for the raid. Sorry it's been a short one. It's sort of been an hour and so. But again, I'm still not fully up to speed on streaming and everything again at the moment. So with that, I will leave you guys in peace. Thank you for spending some of your Sunday afternoon with me. Hopefully you all have a great rest of your day, whatever you are doing. Stay safe out there. If you do go outside, remember social distancing is key, and also just make sure you're fine. Screw anybody else if they're in the wait time to shift. More worried about your own health than anybody else's. So thank you very much for spending some time with me this afternoon, and I'll see you on the next one.
Closet full of secrets and skeletons, awakes but nothing's true.